Good evening, my friends. My name's Alex Belfield, and this is The Voice of Reason. Coming up next is a very important message. Howdy mush, I hope you're okay. My name's Alex Belfield, and this is The Voice of Reason. From next week, I'll be behind my paywall live a week tomorrow with the phone in and doing my morning news where they can't touch me. They can't get to me, they can't affect me, and they can't bother me. Until then, unfortunately, it seems I'm fair game. I've become the clickbait of the masses, not only for the mental trolls with the boggly eyes, but also for those in the media who want to get clickbait by putting my name in the title and saying, he's a stalker, he's a stalker. Yeah, well, maybe that's what I was convicted of. I pled not guilty, and it doesn't mean I'm sorry because I'm not, because I don't have to be, because I've served my time, and I did my 2.9 years for words, and what happens then is you find out what risk you are to the public, and that is 0.17%, and I'm fully rehabilitated. They forget to mention that. This all started with a close him down email from someone from the BBC who I wanted to find out who it was, and it led to 5 arrests, and it led to 3 raids from the goons and the mafia at Nottingham Police, who came in my house 3 times illegally and stole my microphone and then went off, so I bought another one, and we carried on with The Voice of Reason, and from that we went on to have 500 million hits on YouTube, which is why the mental medicated trolls with the boggly eyes are so jealous and pissed off, because they want a slice of the pie. They think by getting rid of me will make them more successful, and unfortunately YouTube and show business only relies on the love and the support of the public, and they will decide. Family, thank you for coming tonight. We love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Now in life we all make choices, don't we? And my choice was to go balls to the wind and just be me. And unfortunately I offend a lot of people, especially those who are up to shit like, I don't know, rape children or up to nonsense. I don't like duplicitous people. I don't like people who are one thing publicly and then another thing behind closed doors. And this all started, as you'll read in my book, which is the Autobiography. And by the way, I apologize. We're now having to get a second print because it's sold out. So if you've ordered it, it will be with you as soon as it can. Within the next 10 days, they will be with you. And that's an amazing thing for me, because it means that my time in prison wasn't wasted. But at the end of the book, you'll see that my first interaction with the police was not about this. It was about when I outed a theatre guy in and I'm being careful because we know they're looking to recall me. The only way this works is if I end up back in prison for the next 2.9 years so that they can do what they did before, which is hope that I get killed, stabbed, murdered in prison, or top myself and jump off the roof, which ain't going to happen. So in the book, I explain how all my woes started, and it isn't actually anything to do with the BBC. It's to do with the fact that this guy in a theatre in Yorkshire had sexually assaulted 9 young underage girls. And I went to South Yorkshire Police about it, and they told me to stick a cactus up my arsehole, and if I named him, I'd be arrested. That was the first ever interaction I had with the police. You will read about that whole story. You will also read that that guy is now working in a children's holiday park, one that you might be taking your children to. So we're not going to say any more on that, because I know what's going on, and I know why I did my 2.9 years in prison. And I think, if you want to know the truth, it was to do with influence. That is true. That bit of the trial is true. But I think they saw that they'd got another Katie or Tommy Robinson on their hands, and they didn't want it. Well, by making me a martyr and putting me in prison for words, when BBC paedophiles who the highest paid, like Hugh Edwards, stay at home, not on a tag, not on licence conditions, having done no prison and been taught no lesson. And I wonder where the missing phone is, because, of course, the police here in Nottingham, the corrupt Nottingham police, managed to get mine 3 times when they raided me 3 times. But, of course, Hugh lost his, didn't he? So I wonder why that was allowed to happen. Maybe the octopus legs of connecting people that were involved in his ring, they didn't want to expose. I'll leave it with you. Other than the fact that he can keep his BBC pension paid for by you, I think we can all see that this country has lost its fucking mind. However, where does that leave me? Well, it leaves me able to support people like Lucy Conley. This week I did a video about Lucy a couple of times, And it was very, very interesting to see the comments. And the love from you once again has saved my life. In prison, what saved my life was your letters and the love and support from my family and friends. Those letters that you see here that came in every single day lifted my heart. But prison is a lonely place, and you will see in book 3, which is the next book to come out in a month or so's time, Surviving the Slammer, was at HMP Stocken. And HMP Stocken is a high security CCAT jail. So basically, I was never going to be in a BCAT because I'm a non-violent, non-sexual, non-drugs related prisoner that really, as far as they could see, didn't amount to any crime. And I can say that because that's why I didn't do 1 second of rehabilitation. Also, I'm going to talk about this at the channel because I don't really want to do it here, but they went to great lengths to try and find something wrong with me or put me as mad and be able to put me down as a complete nutcase, and that way they could have controlled me for the rest of my life. Well, that didn't go so well either, because the 2 most senior forensic psychologists at HMP gave up after 4 hours and said there's nothing wrong with him. So to all of those people that have made videos suggesting that there is something wrong with me, be very careful, because I've got the document from 2 senior forensic psychologists at HMP that say I'm completely fine, sane, I have a 0.17% risk, and you need to be careful what you say because it's not true. They would have done anything. And you know, when they raided here, they didn't come in to find me making words on the internet. They came in to find something like Hugh or something like Russell or something like the Tates so that they could really finish me off. Because let's face it, this witch hunt hasn't worked. Since day 1, when the email was sent to close me down by a BBC person, everything has fallen flat with the public. Nobody believes this. It's nonsense. And I can now prove, as a rehabilitated man with a 0.17% risk that has had no issues from psychology whatsoever, that I'm absolutely fine. So to all of the people on the internet who want to get clickbait, be very careful, because there's 2 ends to a prick. That's the way it works. You have the right to your free speech and I have the right to mine. I've paid 2.9 years and I'm rehabilitated. And I'm fine. And I know my license conditions. Don't you worry about that. I know what I can say and what I can't say. So let's talk about why we're here today. Well, an unfortunate things happened during my 3rd book, which I wrote in custody at HMP Stocken, that the newspapers have got hold of something quite unedifying that they're going to print tomorrow. So I wanted to tell you first. And what I want to tell you is that whilst at the country's most high security CCAT, whilst they were busy reading every single one of those letters you've just seen in, when they came in, and then when I replied going out, and then when I handed them out, they read them again. I had 2 OSGs, open and shut gates, reading those letters. Unfortunately, they didn't see that I was having an affair with a young busty lady who was slightly big boned, an officer who apparently is going to be in the papers tomorrow. So it's somewhat embarrassing, but you've got to understand a man had needs. And when you're at somewhere like Fossway, you have porn, you see, on the telly. CBeebies, CBoobies, CBBC for the nonsense, but there's no straight porn. There's not even any ambivalatious porn for those who like to stink and stonken in the plink and plonken and the chippage or snippy snappy on the private parts and chop them off and turn it into a lady foo-foo, lady garden. So I met this lady, and very nice, and of course they weren't looking for that. They were looking for me to be stalkery. They weren't looking for me to be horny. And what is interesting about prison is that you can actually get condoms. They hand them out because there's a lot of, 1-2 buck on my shoe going on with the inmates. But what they forget is that others might use them for the horny, young, very vivacious and plumptious randy buggers who want a bit of Belfield man sausage. Now, as everybody knows, I'm hung like a skin tag, and I said to the young lady one day, who I'm not going to name because it's not fair, we'll call her Gloria Stitz, we'll call her Officer Stitz. Gloria, I would say to her, what has got 3 teeth and 400 legs? And she'd say, I don't know what's got 3 teeth and 400 legs. I'd say the Meds queue at HMP Stocken. That's a joke. That's a joke. Anyway, you can get the old condoms, and it's very interesting because in the old days, you used to get a pack of 3. I don't know whether you're like me, but I mean, I've never got past 1 and thought I needed a second one, but they do flavoured ones at HMP as well. And the strawberry ones are so moreish. I found myself, night in, night out in that pad, just sucking on them because they were so tasty, because we don't get fresh fruit or anything like that in prison. And they did do luminous ones as well, which was very good, because when they turned the lights out at 9 o'clock, there'd be some fluorescent light coming in from the yard, and I could read the book. And if I was knocking one out, it would strobe. It was very interesting. But of course, the good thing is that they did give me some condoms, and I just want to show you how insulting it was. They had to bring in special ones for me. And as you know, I'm not blessed downstairs. And the notion that HMP would get these in, what does it say on it? There's some smart ass. Micro-worm condoms for mucky pools with strangers can be added with cotton wool inside if too big. Now, do you think that's appropriate for HMP to be sending a young man like me? Well, anyway, they did. But there was there was, unfortunately, a spillage. Now, as we know, this sort of thing goes on quite a lot at HMP. Look at the young lady at Wandsworth, who apparently has a very successful online career. You spend a long time with the screws, and often you end up screwing. And you'll read about in the 4 prison books that I've written, the first one being Surviving the Slammer, which is coming soon. Book 2, by the way, is banned. They've said, oh, we're not allowing you to talk about the court case and the corrupt Nottingham police. No, we're not doing, oh no, we're not having any of that. So book 2 is currently banned, so the lawyers are dealing with that. So we'll go to book 3. I don't care, I've got 6. You can read my 6-pack, don't you worry about that. So where was I? So, Gloria, very nice lady, bit plumptious, but they mostly are. They're quite young, and coercive behaviour, they call it in prison. And apparently somebody's dobbed us in, and it comes under corruption. So you can actually go to prison for it and get extra time. Fortunately, I was so clever, I'd have her coming in and I'd say I was doing her paperwork. And, I was taking down this and writing down that. And at prison, you have your own key to your own door. Nobody realised that. That's true. And on the inside, you have your own thing. So if you find some ruse, you can get these very sort of horny, they're all at it because, quite frankly, many of them, if they weren't working in the prison, they'd be working in McDonald's, something like that, if they could get through the recruitment process. What's hysterical about prison is you have to be level 2 to get a proper job, to be a banded prisoner, which I was at Stockton and Bay. You have a bat and you can go anywhere, and you get all access, which is fabulous. Which means you can get up to all kinds of shenanigans in cupboards. And I write about all of this in the 4 books, and all the other prisoners that were stupping various prisoners and various prison officers. I mean, it's all going on, especially in the nonce prisons. You put 500 sexual offenders in 2 blocks. What do you think's going to happen? Rapes and all kinds. Oh, I'm telling you, it was all going on. But we'll get to that in a bit. Look. I'm going to get in trouble for making this. So look, we've got to go behind the paywall. And so the story in the Times tomorrow is that she ended up getting up the duff. And she even, I might as well tell you, she did have a ginger growler as well, which is really embarrassing. You see the eyes there, look, the eyes there. Yeah, I don't know why the ginger growler isn't currently doing a YouTube show. Jealousy. I'm dating for 25 years. No, you haven't. Not at all. Not since I was a child at 19. Anyway, that's not why you called. So, it unfortunately concludes with these not working and me having a baby. So that's what the Times are going to tell you tomorrow, that this young lady and I, we'll call her Officer Gloria Stitz, have had a baby. And I'm going to introduce you to the baby so that they don't get the pictures, because a bit like Tommy, where they followed him and his family and took pictures, that's what's happened this week around the park. And they've got the baby. And it's now 3, just under 3. And he's very, very beautiful. And a bouncing baby boy. He was cesarean section. And he's never got over it, because now when we get out the car, he goes out through the sunroof. And like me, an ugly baby as well, which is, I've got to say, he's not the prettiest of babies. I was so ugly when my mother saw the afterbirth, she thought she'd had twins. And it's really hurtful that people are making fun of my baby. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take you through. He's sleeping now. But Tarquin, if you could follow me through and we'll go and see the baby. Tarquin, don't wake the baby. Shushy, shushy. Now, let's go in. We'll bring daylight on my boudoir for baby Belfield, the little bastard, because we don't know who the mother really is, although the Sunday Times claim that they do, so just let's riff it coming. Don't wake the baby! Shush! Shushy, shushy. Tarquin! Shush. Look. Fisted Belfield. Venting Belfield. Don't wake the baby. Shushy, shushy. Zoom in, Tarquin. It's Daddy! Fuck off! He's got a mouth like a sewer, just like his mother. Come on, love, come on. Wakey, wakey, love. So nice to see. Oh, he's... Oh, I'm told you to fuck off. Oh, love, that's not bad. Say hello to the punters. Fuck off. Oh, no, we can't have this. You're going to embarrass me in front of the Sunday Times. They're such a nice newspaper that worked so hard to get us demonetized so that I couldn't afford the life to which you've become accustomed. We've been away so long, haven't we? I'm telling you to fuck off. Oh my God, Tarquin. Let's cut there, please. Well, it's really nice to be able to come out of the closet with what the paper's going to do and beat them to it. And I know Fisted Belfield, my little bastard son. I'm not a bastard. You know, I was a big advocate during 2020 to 2022 of COVID, as you know, and I recommended the jibby jabby for everybody, and I thought that the masks were wonderful. And the thing is, because we're so close, I don't want to risk giving the bastard son the monkey aid. So I think it's probably best that I get my mask and put it on so that there isn't any issue with passing on the monkey aid to the Fisted Belfield. So tell me, how are you? I'm fucking brilliant. It's a fucking great day for me to come out to the public and be able to tell all of the trolls to fuck right off. Now, you must keep a civil gob because we don't want them saying that you're offensive. You're only little. How old are you now? I'm fucking 3 years old. And your mother, how's your mother? I don't know, she's in prison for fucking you. Oh my God, love, you can't say that. That's terrible. Now, we're going to use you, if you don't mind, here at YouTube. I'll take this off for the moment, just because I'm looking that way. We're going to use you a lot at YouTube, you see, to do the videos so that you say things and I don't say them. Do you think that's a good idea? That would be bloody great, Dad, to be able to be a YouTube star, because I remember when I was a baby, my grandma used to take me to Skegness and all the children would crowd round me pram. They thought it was a mobile Punch and Judy show. You are very happy, are you, to have opinions about various celebrities and things so that when people tune into the channel, they will know that it's absolutely not Alex Belfield saying it, but indeed the Fisted Belfield. Yes, I think it's fucking a brilliant idea, because that way all the trolls can f*** right off and leave you to say what you want to say. What do you think, for example, about people like Gary Lineker, for example? I think he's a twat. No, he's not a cat. No, he's not a cat. Absolutely, no, he's not a cat. And have you any questions for me, by the way, before we go? Yes, Dad. Where's your other hand? I can see this hand. Where's your other hand? My other hand? That's why you're called Fisted Belfield.